I've spent 5 weeks in Colombia now, and I've experienced very, very interesting moments while traveling around Colombia. I've been experiencing some cultural and interesting situations that I wish I should have known before traveling to Colombia. This information would have saved me time, effort, or they just simply would have made me feel comfortable since the beginning. Stay tuned because I think you'll find them very interesting, not only if you're planning to travel or live in Colombia, but if you're curious about culture in other countries. I'm from a Latin American country where tap water is not drinkable at all. I'm from Mexico, the country that in 2020 had the highest per capita consumption of bottled water worldwide. So, of course, I grew up thinking that having to buy these big bottles of water to drink water was more than normal. And it's not only Mexico's case. I know that there are many countries in Latin America that are in the same situation. If you are from countries such as the United States, Canada, or Europe, you've probably heard that you have to be very, very careful with the water that you are drinking if you are in Latin America. That drinking tap water, it's a no-no. So, we arrived in Colombia. In my previous video, I mentioned how hard it was for us to walk to be able to arrive to our apartment. Our apartment was located on a hill, and part of these complaints was because we would carry big bags of water every time we ran out of drinkable water. And it was more than normal because the people there told us that that was the only way that they could drink water. Now I'm in Manizales, a beautiful city in the interior of Colombia. And I have to say that I was struggling a lot to be able to buy these big bags of water or these big bottles of water. I was wondering where the people would get their water from. The shops near home or the supermarket didn't have these big bags of water or these big bottles of water, so we started to buy small bottles of water. And I'm not proud to say it. Let me show you in the kitchen the bottles that we have. Let's go. These bottles of water were just for 5 days, I think. And we already threw up a lot of bottles of water just for 5 days. Then we started meeting people here in Manizales. And was then when I realized about the amazing news the city has.
Es muy sano tomarlo y de hecho es muy normal sacar agua de la llave, pero en ciudades costeras nunca.
No se puede. Well, we just found out that we can drink water from the tap. People can do that because they have the Nevado. How do you say Nevado? The mountain, the mid mountain.
Mm-hmm. With the snow
top mountain. Mm-hmm. So look at the quantity of plastic that we've been wasting, and there's another one over there. And it seems this doesn't happen only in this city. There are more cities where you can drink water from the tap, such as Bogota, the capital of Colombia. And I'm not sure if there are much more cities. If you know, let me know in the comments, please. I think it's very useful information for people who want to travel or live in Colombia. It would also save you money from buying bottles of water all the time. It's not common in Mexico. There are probably some towns in Mexico where you can drink tap water, but it's not common. Once you're in Colombia, you'll probably want to have data on your phone. It's very affordable and easy to find the places where you can buy a SIM card for your phone. You can buy it on the street from a man selling candies. Basically, that's the way how we bought our SIM card. Or you can go directly to these big companies with the brand of the company selling SIM cards. We paid something no more than $10 for the SIM card and data in our phone. I think we had the first time 30 gigabytes of internet, and it was more than enough. The thing that Dave and I didn't know, and now it's causing Dave a lot of problems, is that if you're staying more than a month, just like us, you'll need to register your phone, or more specifically, the number that your phone has, which is called IMEI, with the company where you bought your SIM card. If you don't this on time or before the first month, you won't be able to make calls or use your internet connection. Your phone is kind of blocked. We bought our SIM card with a lady on the street. She was very kind to tell us that we needed to register our phones to the company where we bought our SIM cards. And even though Dave and I did it, Dave's phone wasn't registered for some reason. And now he's having a lot of problems. Of course, he can't use his phone here every time we go out, only when he has Wi-Fi connection. And now he needs to do another procedure. He needs to go to the company to see what's happening. It's a long story and I don't want to go on details. So I just want to tell you that register your phone. Some way of speaking can be associated with being gay or feminine. Something interesting that I've been noticing as part of Latin America or as part of the Latin American countries is the deep and different meaning that our Spanish language has depending on the country.
¿Cómo oyes a un mexicano hablar? Órale, güey. ¿Cómo estás tú?
And this is a topic that I would love to talk about in another video because I find it very, very interesting. I've been making interviews. It's gonna be a good video. It's gonna be a fun video too. So stay tuned for that video. To be able to get to the point, let me explain something very fast. If you've been learning Spanish or if you speak Spanish, you'll know that we have two ways of speaking. Formal way and informal way. The formal way, we use the pronoun usted, and the informal way, we use the pronoun tú. Usted, the formal way, is used when you are talking to an older person, and we're talking in a formal situation like in an office, in your job. And informal way is when you're talking to friends or someone who is younger than you, for example. This is a way of how Mexicans use it. In many parts of Colombia, there's a stigma that is related to these pronouns that I would never imagine. A stigma that if you don't use the correct pronoun, it can be associated with being gay or feminine if you're a man. If you learn Spanish in Mexico, let's say, you'll probably need to adapt your language if you come to this part of Colombia. In Colombia, it's more common to hear the pronoun usted when you are talking to your friend or when you're talking just to other people. I realize about that. But it's very, very common that if you're a man and if you talk to another man of the same age, you have to use the pronoun usted. In Mexico, though, if you're in the same situation, you can use the pronoun tú. Here it comes the interesting part. I was having this conversation with a Colombian man and I told him, that is very weird for me because in Mexico we use tú for everyone almost. There are exceptions, of course. But in this situation, man to man of the same age, why don't you simply use the pronoun tú? And he said, oh, no. Because if a man refers to another man of the same age using the pronoun tú, it can be associated with being gay or feminine. It sounds feminine. Can you believe that? I was surprised, I was shocked, because I wouldn't have imagined that. Men with men use usted because it sounds stronger. This Colombian man told me that he was aware that this was a little bit sexist, but he told me, everybody is doing it and I'm going to keep doing it because that's how this works. He also told me that it's fine if a woman refers to a man using the pronoun tú because it's, it's a woman talking to a man, or either way. I'm not sure if this happens in all Colombia, but if you know more about this topic, I would love to know in the comments. This topic could go deeper and deeper, and this is something that I want to talk about in my differences in language video, so stay tuned. Speaking of differences in languages, I've created Spanish conversation courses where I teach you Mexican Spanish if you're planning to live in Mexico or you want to learn Spanish, the Spanish that we speak in Mexico. If you don't speak Spanish at all, I have a level for you. I also have conversational courses for you if you want to develop your conversation skills. I will give you cultural topics about Mexico because you won't only be learning the way we speak in Mexico or Spanish, and you'll be understanding more about my culture. I hope to see you there. I'm gonna leave my website below. Book a course. You can also book a call with me and I will assess you and tell you what should be the correct level for you. I think you're going to enjoy my courses and see you there. In some parts of the country, the climate is indeed tropical. I've read that 86% of the country of Colombia is considered hot, but the country doesn't have a uniformly warm climate. If you go up to the mountains, even 1 hour away from the first place where you stayed, the climate will change considerably. Look at how beautiful and green it looks. Due to Colombia's proximities to the equator, you won't find 4 clearly defined seasons like in other parts of the world. Instead, seasons are defined more by rain fluctuations rather than temperature changes. In my case, I went to the coast of Colombia and then I came to the interior of Colombia, and I think I didn't choose my clothes wisely. Even though I was on the coast and I went up 1 hour up to the mountains, the weather changed completely. It was chilly, a little bit more chilly, and now that I'm here in Manizales, it's the same way. As you can see, I'm surrounded by mountains, so the weather is chilly. I'm wearing this shirt. But if I go down a little bit of the mountain, I will feel humid weather. It won't be a surprise that Colombian people love dancing. And that was one of the reasons of why I wanted to come to Colombia. I love dancing, and it doesn't need to be necessarily in a club. What I want to say is that it's very easy to find nice places to dance here in Colombia, especially salsa. I love salsa, and that's something that in Mexico you'll have a hard time trying to find places. But if you want to come to Colombia, try to learn at least a few steps of salsa, something about salsa, because that's the way how Colombians enjoy having a good time. When they invite you to hang out, there's usually music involved. They love music. There's music everywhere. And if you're planning to date someone, for sure, he or she are going to enjoy a good dance. That's the way I've met people, even though it's not difficult at all meeting people here in Colombia, but that's the way I've met people and I've had a good time here in Colombia. This last point is not necessarily something you have to do, but I recommend doing it if you want to have a really nice time here in Colombia. Be open-minded. Don't be scared. Be open-minded to new experiences, new people. There's a lot to see and it will change your perspective. I really want to mention this, and I will make another video next week, because without even looking for it, I ended up in a situation where I was surrounded by a lot of people and they were so nice. Honestly, they were very nice. You've probably heard that culture in Latin American countries is so warm, that people love being surrounded by other people, that they love being in a community. And of course, I don't forget all my patrons who are supporting my channel. This is a special mention for you guys because I know you are enjoying my content, and this is so nice for me, so special for me. I hope you're enjoying my Colombian content. Thank you very much. And if you aren't part of Patreon, thank you very much as well, because I know you are watching this video and you're enjoying this video. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, comment. That will help me a lot. I'm Mexican, and I've heard that when foreigners, especially from countries such as the United States, Canada, or countries from Europe, come to Mexico and they tell me about their experiences. They tell me how warm Mexicans are, how open Mexicans are, and how they are always trying to help them. I wouldn't have realized if they didn't tell me. I've been here for over a month, 5 weeks, and I'm truly shocked and surprised by the number of people that I've met without even looking for it. And they're always trying to help me. I have to say that it wasn't the same. I didn't feel the same way when I was on the coast of Colombia. It's very different here in Manizales, and I feel so welcome. That's why my husband and I are really enjoying this city. And of course, this is something that I want to show you in my next video. The next video is going to be an experience that I had only for a day. And I want to show you how I ended up in that situation, so stay tuned. My recommendation for you is just to be open. You don't necessarily need to speak the language Spanish, because there are a lot of Colombian people who can speak English very well. But I definitely think that if you speak Spanish, of course, you'll be able to meet more people, to have more experiences. That's why you need to book my Spanish conversation courses. So don't come to Colombia with fear. I'm not saying bad situations don't happen here in Colombia. They happen, but they happen in all over the world. I assure you that there are much more kind people that are willing to help you, that are willing to have a nice conversation with you, are willing to show you their country, their cities, and you'll have a very nice time here in Colombia. What do you think about these topics that I've mentioned? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you have another point, I would love to know your experience, your opinion. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned for my next week's video. It's going to be a very interesting video. Stay tuned and see you next week. Adios!